Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we're going to take a look at Bruichladdich Lochindall 15-year-old Cadenhead's Climens cask, charred Climens cask, 53.2% ABV, Campbelltown malts, Festival Bottling 2023. What?
I know nothing, Mike.
Mike B, you're our dude. And that's a mouthful. And we're hoping this is too.
This might be the most blind whiskey review we've ever gone into. Like, I know the distillery. I know the bottler. The rest of that is, I got nothing.
Justin, like always, I'm going to let you pick whatever version of the whiskey it is since I poured it. And I'm going to try to be as close as humanly possible.
Just take the closest one.
You are a master at picking the full one.
I'm taking the closest one every time.
It's a dominant skill to have. Don't ever apologize. All right, Bruichladdich Lochindall.
No one apologized.
Cadenhead, I like Cadenhead. I like Bruichladdich.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Lochindall means. I think that's where they get the water from.
I'm not even going to try, Mike.
Never mind. It sounds Gaelic.
It does. I was getting ready to say, when it comes to Gaelic words, I just... if you guys want to learn some of the Gaelic terms and all that stuff, go watch Eric Waite's whiskey studies.
Yeah.
He does an incredible job. This is cool. Like, I am getting charred notes. I've said toasted, like I said, like butter and toasted stuff a couple times today. This has got a distinct butter note on the very end of it. And there is a citrus, low, slightly burnt, slightly charred, slightly cold thing going on in the middle.
Citrus, char, sherry. It's got to be sherried.
I'm not even. I hadn't even gotten to sherry notes.
Are you serious?
There's so many things going on here. I'm getting like smoked barley, like where they like toasted / smoked it before they got in there.
Man, I'm gonna say this in the best possible way, but I have a customer that cleans up houses that caught on fire, and when I went in their warehouse for the first time, there's a little bit of that industrial fire.
I'll take your word on the sherry, Mike, because I get something that could be sherry, but it could just be a charred barrel.
You're right. It could be a charred cherry barrel. Charred sherry barrel.
Well, and whatever that like word was after char, maybe it's some kind of like fortified wine. I don't know anything, man.
I don't know anything either. I mean, I like Cadenhead. I like Bruichladdich. Campbelltown Festival Bottling. That doesn't know that makes sense to me.
Cadenhead generally does on the finish have a higher level of oak note than most other independent bottlers.
Charred Climens cask? The charred cask I get completely.
Climens might be a type of fortified wine.
It would make sense. And that's what I get. I get charred sherry. I get sherry burnt to the ground.
But
in boxes.
It does have that Cadenhead kind of note where they do tend to take a little bit more oak on in the finish.
Yeah.
Do we get an age on this one?
I believe so, yes. I believe it was 15 years old, and it is.
Yeah, that's definitely heavy oak for 15.
Our friend who sends us, or at least this particular friend who sends us a sample, always makes sure to have handwritten notes.
Yeah.
It is a lost skill, handwritten notes, Dustin?
Yeah, let me tell you, he's got better handwriting than I do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you wouldn't be, and I can read it, it's kind of cursive, isn't it?
It is. No one writes in cursive these days.
I can't write in cursive anymore.
I don't even write in English anymore.
That's the only language you speak.
It's the only language I speak. That in Ohio.
Barely.
When people, I've been to Europe a few times, and people, say, like, are you building? Like, no, I'm 0.8. 0.8. This is charred, sherried, sweet, and still that lovely, even Bruichladdich. And what I mean by that is Bruichladdich, of all the Islay whiskeys, has a super indistinct malt to me, if any of them have it. It's very malleable.
So I'm thinking this is a fortified white wine with a menthol note coming through.
There is. Cooling menthol.
Yeah. It's very cooling.
Almost Ardbeg-ish.
There's like an oiliness, like a simple sugar kind of thing going on here.
So dense.
Slight, I'm trying to think if it's like lemon, orange, lime. Like there's a
cleaning polish sort of smell.
Yeah, there's a cleaning. There you go.
All I know is the guy that's on this cleaning polish has an earring and it has a bald head and a white shirt. What flavor it is, I'm not 100%.
He's pretty jacked.
He's no stranger to the gym. He spells gym with a Y, not an I.
The earthy notes have actually come down. The char's a little less now that I'm really kind of digging in. Like, man, it's an overall very sweet experience.
It's sweet. It's charred. There's a lot going on here. There's a good dichotomy between very sweet and then like a savory char note too as well.
I'm not expecting a lot of depth on this one. I'm expecting it to be very sweet and aggressive up front with a pretty quick finish. That's what I'm getting from the nose. Let's find out.
Yeah, 53.2, Dustin. Not subtle. So I don't know. Maybe that might come out with water, but I think you might pick up a few more things than you're expecting. This is my first time with the two, but I feel like there's a dragon underneath here somewhere, smoldering.
No, it's actually really refined.
Is it?
Beautiful, sweet charred oak, chewy wood. Oh, I mean, it's chewy, man. You just want to like chew you just want to like start chewing. Finish is better than I expected, though. It gives you like a sweeter, a little more oak-driven version of the upfront. Char's light, but very noticeable here. And the char picks up on the finish. Instead of getting like a peat note, you get a nice char note, and it's really well done. They got the char on these casks just right. Oh yeah. I mean, nothing stands out as exceptional.
Wow.
Everything on here is really good.
Char's the show. As soon as you swallow a sherry chocolateness, I'm assuming it's sherry chocolate. Sherry chocolate stinging on the sides. There's a slight cedar pencil shaving note to it, without the flint.
Okay, I can get behind cedar notes. Yes, I get that occasionally when you get like a younger charred note on the wood. Yeah, cedar I could see.
I agree with the chewiness of it. I agree with the rubberiness. Maybe rubber's too strong.
It's not rubber, but it's like, again, you just want to chew it. It's like it wants to be chewed.
Yeah, cigar leaf.
Oh, there is definitely cigar smoke on here.
A little bit of Swisher Sweet,
What about Swisher Sweet?
if you were so inclined.
There's an actually decent cigar here.
Yeah.
But there is like an underlying sweetness again. I think this is a fortified, super sweet white wine.
I think most guys who grew up playing basketball know what a Swisher Sweetness.
Or if you had any friends who were potheads in high school.
You know what? This comes off like a super aged Bruichladdich that has sherry cask maturation that is a heavy char. That's what it is to me. Which is excellent. Excellent. I like everything I just said. Including the Swisher Sweet.
So I've always been a little, not the biggest fan of Bruichladdich malt. I like it. It's good. But it always gives me this like finish where I'm just kind of like, it's a little too clay, plasticine, earthy. Like, it just didn't work for me. There's something about this one where I get that slight minty, menthol kind of note at the finish that saves that and makes this one so enjoyable. This is really good.
It is. This is probably the second best whiskey we've had today.
This is really good. Man.
Lochindall. I'm going to look up what that means. As always, when we get sent samples, we try to make sure we don't influence our decision whatsoever. I've been in sales my whole life. You know that. They don't know that. I've been in sales my whole life. There's a lot of times that guys will pass off a closing scenario or a customer to me and like, hey man, look, I'm like, stop. I don't want any of your preconceived notions to influence me. Back up. Let me take it from the beginning. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I get with here. I don't like the preconceived notions here. You got to fight against.
Yeah. What really is setting this apart from anything else we've had today is the more I sip on it, the bigger the finish gets. Like you really just kind of go back to it a couple times and really just let it build. And it's just like full mouth coating, oak.
The char note is off the charts, man. Even with water on the nose.
It's not a burnt char. It's not a dirty char. It's a just clean. It's it's more toasted than charred. But it's beautiful. For me, it's like adding like wood tannins with like light custardy chocolate notes. It's like the opposite of dark chocolate. It's not even milk chocolate. It's
burnt chocolate.
It's not burnt.
Oh,
I'm telling you, I'm not getting. The more I get into it, the less burnt it is. The more just like toasted it is.
See, I think the char note and the sherry note are the same note. They're just, we're just.
I stand by it's a white wine, not a sherry too.
Really?
Oh, I think this is some kind of fortified white wine. I'm getting more white grape than red grapes. I'm not getting like any of that like raisin notes. It's reminding me of like some of the white wine finish stuff we've had. And I can't think of a good example right now.
Maybe the char is turning into chocolate for me.
Yes, the char is where the chocolate's coming from, and then there's like this white, sweet fortified wine. It is.
I mean, I don't know for sure, but you could be right about that.
That's what I'm getting here, man.
Yeah, again, we don't look.
I'm really enjoying this. All right, Mike. If you don't mind, I'll jump forward here. You want last time on one of these blinds? I'm giving this a 90. Absolutely loving this bottle. I wish I had more to really explore that note. Play a little bit more with water to see, because I actually think it got better with water. Because I just started getting more complexity, and it didn't affect. It's rich, it's oily, it's got a great mouthfeel, but the finish, the way it builds up as you drink, and you're getting it now, probably right now, if you just had that, where it just built up in the mouth finish and the mouthfeel, where you're just like fully coated with all those tastes. It's incredible.
You ain't wrong. It's a 90. I mean, if I were to change the score, it'd be a 91.
I was scared to go higher, but it might be.
Yeah. No, this is an excellent whiskey. This is a bottle of whiskey I'd pay $400 for in a 700 or 750 ml. I don't know what they go for, but here's another example. Cadenhead, nice.
Yeah.
Bruichladdich, nice. Heavily charred to some degree, nice.
Yeah. I love the fact that char note, though, with Cadenhead, because Cadenhead, again, always has a little heavier oak. Sometimes that's a little not off-putting, but a little much.
It's a little drastic.
And also, it kind of makes a lot of their whiskey start kind of tasting the same.
Yep.
The char part of this one really enhances the experience and just gives it a whole nother level.
How many other whiskeys can you compare to this whiskey? This is a fairly unique experience.
I've definitely had a couple whiskeys that have some similar profiles, some similar notes, but this
reminds me.
This is so perfectly done. That's the key. This is perfectly done.
This reminds me of super old 25, 30-year-old Bruichladdich sherry cask, except for at 15 years old.
Yeah.
And 53% has plenty of punch. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this whiskey. We're both at a 90. I was playing around with 91. I hate to give samples that high of a score, but this is absolutely my second favorite whiskey of the day.
This is excellent. Yeah, I don't know what these cost. I don't know how many they made.
Nope.
But if I see one available, I am probably going to try to figure it out.
This could be a $40 bottle for all we know.
Buy them all.
It is not.
No, there's no way.
No way. Mike would not send us a $40 bottle of whiskey.
So you've got a great deal.
That I know.
Yeah, Mike has definitely sent some pretty high-end stuff.
Yeah, no, it's always good. And this is no exception. This is one of the favorite whiskeys I've done today. Absolutely a 90, which means top-end whiskey.
Yeah.
Worth $400-$500.
Yes, absolutely. This is...
And at 53%, handled water, sherry cask maturation, Isle of whiskey.
Everything about this just did well. God, jeez.
Probably unpeated, yes.
Oh, yeah, Bruichladdich unpeated, aged...
Oh, that's right. It would be called Port Charlotte or October. Yeah.
Aged in Campbelltown, though. I don't know how long. I don't know when the whiskey got
because
there.
of Cadenhead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it may have gotten a little bit of sea salt.
So it took an Iowa distillery we like anyway.
And they just did a Dunnage warehouse we love.
Right.
Beautiful.
Right. Get this bottle. If it's under $500, get it. Anyway, those are our thoughts on this particular whiskey. If you guys had a chance to try this, make sure I get it right. This Bruichladdich Lochindall 15-year-old Cadenheads charred Climens cask, 53.2%. Campbelltown malts, Festival Bottling 2023. It's worth it. Am I wrong?
Absolutely right.
Dustin, until next time, what do we wish the folks?
Happy whiskey friend drinking.
We'll see you then.